dare you guys to find my dad in the crowd.
Oh! Dad, raise your hand.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. My name is Zachary Jubie. If you live in Flagstaff, you would never have heard that first name. My name is just Jubie. We all kind of fight over that. My brother, my dad, and I. But I'm the only one who lives in Flagstaff, so I get to claim it. I've been so excited about this. Kai asked me to do it off of a cancellation, and I had one response to her. Why? And she was like, cause it's just cool, man. Like, come on, I need to feel this. I'm like, no, yes. The answer is absolutely yes. But I wanted to build my ego a little bit tonight. So, it all has to be about me all the time. If you ask my family, but I try and be considerate of others. If I get kind of out of sorts tonight, I shave my facial hair this way so I'd have something to hold on to. Thank you for laughing. Tonight I really wanted to share with you guys my relationship with poetry, because getting up here and just sharing things that I've written is not enough for me. My mother is a triple threat. She's a singer, dancer, and she can act, I swear to God, y'all. And my father is just that guy who really likes to tell the story very, very well. And so you get the spawn of that and you get a performer. Oh. With a phone case. So this can't just be a reading. This has to be a performance from me. And so I took some time to decide, what's this performance going to be? This performance is about the story of my relationship with poetry. And ironically, this started years back. I moved to Flagstaff on a whim for a better chance of opportunity, trying to get over a relationship. Found myself at Hops, having a beer, and there was this cool event, not very undifferent from this one, called Barley Rhymes.
Yeah.
Barley Rhymes was this super cool event just like tonight, run by Papa Juniper himself, and let's just, shit, guys. Papa Juniper sharing his craft, inspiring others to do the same. It gave me this idea that, hey, I can do this. I love public speaking. I love performing. I've never tried this before. I need to get over some shit right now. So I decided to write a poem. But I couldn't just write a poem. I had to make a performance, and I had to perfect it and perfect it and perfect it before it can be performed. And I'm sorry it's not fresh, but it's important. Because this started with that man right there in the back. And and he still creates this despite stress, despite hostility, despite tough decisions and hard conversations. This event happens, and you may not realize it, but it does. So this is something I wrote for Barley Rhymes, and I'm gonna perform here tonight because this is where my poetry started. This is called Ashley, my first poem. A tornado flew around my room before you came. Excuse the mess it made. Usually doesn't rain in Southern California, much like Arizona. You see, she was from the east side. It was way past where we could ever meet side until she came into my life. I'd be sitting in her car singing with my eyes closed. I got a landscaper and a housekeeper since you were born. The starshine always kept you warm. Singing in her car. Oh. Opened my eyes for the first time to discover that gaze. It was in a passenger seat, but she created a stage. That look had clouds around it, new perspective in it, and a sense of awareness that was unexistent to anybody who had smoked that little orange zong pipe with the white widow in it. What was I to do after an encounter such as this? Well, it was nice to know ya. Let's do it again. See, Christmas passed. She became mine. Her words, not mine. But despite all basic logic moving in together after 6 months, it seemed fine. A tree on her back. And there was a geisha on her arm. And this beauty could ratchet rap. And she would hold her charm. I'm in her ass like sodomy. So if you see my hand under the table, don't bother me. I don't talk soft. That's that other guy. I'm screaming, what the fuck is up? Like I ain't seen the sky. My girl is awesome. She turns me red like her tattooed cherry blossoms took all the problems I had and just tossed them. Any worries I had following me, I swear I just lost them. I'd be walking around town like, I'm blind to you, haters. She got me there. But girl, I know you've got some issues. So I learned. I wanted her. She said she was mine, but she walked around most mornings silent, telling me everything was fine. Why would she lie? I had no reason not to trust her, but I knew something was just off. And then I got robbed at gunpoint, realized that I loved her because I could have died that night and I was fine with that, but I couldn't handle a single thought of her being lost. Ever hit rock bottom? You ever fallen from grace? And just like that, I'm broke. My life fairly pathetic, my conscience calling it a joke. The only thing keeping me sane day to day was marijuana smoke. I'd be sitting around listening to her favorite song, wishing that she would listen while I sang along. When you grab hold of me, just tell me that I'll never be set free. And I'm really confused about all these things that she's doing and all these things that she's saying. I mean, why can't she just tell me what's really wrong? No. Nest egg. In fact, this nest is rented. In fact, that rent is late. Wait, the money ain't here. The raise ain't coming. It's just me and my brother and this crazy woman. She wasn't really crazy. She just didn't know what she wanted. And everybody who cared about me knew that I wasn't happy anymore. I was the last to find out. I was the first to do something about it. Now, I know that I loved her and I know that she loved me, but I can't help her and I can't help me. And this is the help that I need. I need $1, $1, that's what I need. If I share with you my story, would you share your dollar with me? And just like that, there's a new song to sing, a new life to live, new people to meet. I can sing out loud for all to hear, even though she isn't here. And I'm thankful for that. I've taken a step forward towards finding the true love of my life. But you know what? First I had to find out what real love felt like. And I'm not worried, because my true love will find me, doing something irrational for a semi-rational reason, or I'll find her. And when I find that girl, I'll lock her down, I swear that girl will be the only one for me, the one who makes my life complete. Thank you. So during this relationship, it revolved around music. And music was beautiful. And I went to my first concert, and my second, and my third, and so on. And I discovered a band. And this band had a front man. And this front man had soul. And I liked it. I started going to all their shows. Everyone. All across the valley. Doesn't matter where they went. I wanted to be there. But I didn't just want to be there. I had to be there in the front row. I had to be there just in front so I could see what was happening. And you know what? I got inspired and I wrote that poem that I just shared with y'all. And I became friends with that front man. And I invited him to Flagstaff because they did shows in the valley. They did shows in California. But why shouldn't they do shows in Flagstaff? I think they'd really dig the vibe. So them coming up, they heard that poem. And he said, I have a bridge and a song. I want you to write something. And I want to tell you all this poem. And I want to say it in a way that has never been shared before. Never been said. Because this is a part of a song. And I wrote this. And I collaborated to create this. And I'm proud of this. And this is what's given me the confidence to know that when I write, it's good. It's not a question. And it's not for you. It's for me. I don't need your approval. But the interesting thing about this poem is that it's about y'all. We've all witnessed tonight how every single person sitting here has a little bit different mentality than those others around us. This is art. This is beauty. And we need to be a part of it. And we need to cultivate it. And we need to make it bigger. And that's what Juniper House is all about. So I appreciate y'all being here. And I want to share this with you. This is called Cattywampus. Because the way we think isn't like everybody else. Who are the good ones? The good ones of today. Point them out to me so I can come and join their raid. We'll walk around this land with open hands looking for change. Because we want to understand this progression we have at hand, why humanity is killing wheat, and for this I will not stand. Now I say that we should progress with good contest. We should make conference but love our best. Our onslaught of love, it could be at an all-time high. Man, it could crash like a wave on a ponderosa pine. Because our love, it doesn't have to make sense. We're the ones who spend our love with no expense. We are a force of passion, creating a new faction, taking action, working hard just for those satisfactions, with the abilities to shine so bright. I swear others will try and fight because our light is in their eyes. Ladies and gentlemen, we are the skies. So don't remain mystified by their lies, for trust us, because we will teach you how to be true. We will teach you how to speak the truth while we stand here and listen to you and no longer hinder. For love is a spark, but we are its tinder. We are the good ones. We are the good ones of today. And we're sending out a call for all to come and join our raid. This world may be cattywampus, but that's just what they say. Thank you. Ian and Kai, don't worry. I got fresh stuff for y'all. Like so fresh, I've been worried. Like so fresh, I don't know what I'm gonna write about. So might as well, if I'm here to write poetry, I might as well write about what's on my mind, and that is poetry. So for this first fresh poem that I got for y'all, I want to describe what poetry is to me, you know? And like what I am to poetry. So this poem is promptly called What Am Poetry? What am poetry? Okay. Poetry is a healthy diet. That food that fortifies our focus. Meals that nourish and replenish that which we have spent of ourselves. But I'm a fat kid, eating away boredom until I'm entertained. A well-balanced meal seems so hard to come by day after day. Poetry is a healthy exercise routine. A process thought out and designed to make us stronger, more flexible, and able to keep going after fatigue sets in. But I am a binge-worthy series calling you back to another episode of Yes, I'm Still Watching. Turning you into putty as the stories shape your efforts into laughing, trying not to cry, and a low-rate racing heart. Poetry is making love. An intimate interaction involving another and you. Lovemaking has no set standards or duration. But I am masturbation. A solo activity allowing for actually the opposite. A pull away from finding a connection. A tug towards continuing time spent alone, thinking about being with another. Poetry is a healthy, loving relationship built on love and respect. It will force you to be accountable for your actions while compassionate towards others. But I'm a self-indulging significant other that you can't seem to figure out why you have stayed with for so long, or why you have come back when I was gone. I'm not poison to your life, but I multiply your problems instead of dividing them in half. I'm a cancer to you. Even if that cancer is in remission, the condition of us will never be more than a recovering sickness. Thank you. All right, I'll be the first one to say it. That's pretty self-fucking-deprecating. Like, it really is. But writing poetry has to be super personal for me, like, most of the time. And that causes me to get stuck. Anybody here who writes poetry, lists, anything, probably has been stuck before.
Yes.
You know that you've written in the past, so you know that you can. You know that you will write in the future because you're not ultimately a pessimist. You know that things are going to get better and the creativity will come and your ability to write will come. But right now, you're not. And right now, you can't. Even though you want to, even though you want to try. You have and you will, but right now you just can't. So in that times, you write a poem that sounds kind of like this. This poem is called How I Wrote a Poem.
Nice.
How I wrote a poem. How does one write a poem? Well, first you need to pick a topic so you can have a concept. Or is it first you need to know how you're going to say it so you can get the construct? Is it supposed to be read or heard? Overanalyzing. Either way, it's best to start with words. Oh yes, here we go. The first line of this poem has flow. Oh no, that makes no sense. You wrote this line in present, but the last in past tense. Shit. Maybe I could use some training or education. Maybe that would manage this straining of effort towards creation. Maybe just go to a reading. Hear what others have to share. Seriously, don't be scared. Hear what's out there. Hear how others make you listen with their manner. Their estates full of passion for the words that house their secrets with open doors. Walk in, sit down to their tempo, let go. Throw in that dope wordplay, and this poem will make them stay for the next, even though this one might just be your best. But they don't know that, and neither do you. So you might as well go on writing, write a few. Write like you have a deadline tomorrow despite your sorrow or your drunken state. How does one write a poem, you may ask? By simply writing, not by being great. So like I said, I write like a lot of poetry that's super personal and just about like what I'm going through, things like that. And it gets really difficult to continue just writing things, like for a feature, your first one, when you don't really know what you're doing and you run out of like super personal things to write about.
Yeah, sounds like you know what you're doing to me, man.
So I thought it would be fun to like, kind of like a nonfiction thing, like write a poem that isn't about me, but like I would have to read it, so it's not read by me. Bob, can I borrow you for a second?
Sure, Zach.
Everybody, Bob.
Love it.
Bobby's good for Flagstaff. That's all I'll say. All right, but I just need a partition.
Yeah, listen, I can definitely do this.
Right.
The size thing doesn't matter.
So yeah, like this. So like this isn't me.
That could go. Okay.
Again, this is not me, yo. I live in a land far away out of sight for even the most observant. It is there where creation is crafted creatively, but countered continually. The land in which I live has no borders but many walls. These walls watch while I willingly work wards into warriors to see if their wonder will whittle away their worry. Land that covers what isn't seen under my soles. Sounds off with sirens singing into my soul. Their song swept this land, under the rug running rampant with rude, right, wrong rhetoric reaching reality only when seeming a familiar in the fatality. I live in a land not exclusive, but executive to those eager to evaluate self before anyone else, before anything else, control the vibration of the reverberating vacant vacuum that views sucking as an inconvenience. Instead of filling volume with violence, just to be emptied into the landfills that fill this land upon I live. So, that guy seems interesting. Come back next week, you might hear more from him. Kai earlier talked about the City Inside Me project and how it's so cool that a term and an idea can spawn so much more. And I love that. It's like so much because we all have things that we cling to, whether because we feel that they're ours or we just really, really enjoy it. Growing up, I didn't even know it, but there was a prompt on my wall. There was a prompt not just on how to write a poem or how to write a series of poems, but how to live. And my parents, they put this up on display for my entire life, and it's still on display in their home now. And it's something that really means a lot to me. So much that I got it tattooed. My mother's maiden name is Telfer. My father's name is Jubie. You didn't realize. As much as I want to call myself Jubie and be that, I'm a Telfer as well. And it's that balance that creates my happy, that creates my bliss, that creates a performance. So this poem is called Telfer Jubie. Love is what we're here for. These words are scribed on my skin, and to begin this story, a step must first be taken.
Oh, man.
That's the Jubie part, right? The same step-in taken years ago, if I'm not mistaken. You see, a tattoo is what caused me to drink. A little help to shrink the edge and hedge back the pain while I claim some valuable art. At the start, I had big ideas around how it should look and voice these preconceived, naive notions of what skin art should and should not contain. I could see a look of disdain on the artist's face. I wasn't planning for that part. There's no pause for that. I'm sorry about that. I could see the look of disdain on the artist's face. He quickly responded to me with grace. That's a really cool concept. I'm into it. But it's not going to look anything like what you just said. Like what you just described. I tried to imagine what he could have meant. This is my tattoo, my art of intent. I will have to live with for the rest of my days with my personal and all other unknown gaze. With a calm look on his face, he said to me the phrase that changed the contents of my must-have list. Are you a tattoo artist? Because I am. After a smart-ass remark, I knew I'd found my man. He was into my idea, but he had a better plan. We began a week after the first meeting, completing the outline while listening to metal and bleeding. That day wasn't fun, but it was the day he was completing the piece I now like to call happiness. My mountains high among the purple clouds that float effortlessly in a crashing wave-filled sea. To me, happiness is knowing what you want to do. Doing it without a worry in reach. This lesson was learned relaxing on a beach. The teacher was my father. Funny how he helped guide the idea behind my skin scribbles when to him tattoos and time always were a bother. Giving light to my mountain and beach scene in between each other is a star that for us all is like no other. The sun. It was the last part to be completed. And it's a lie when people say tattoos didn't hurt because after sessions, canvas and creator are both depleted. My favorite question asked is always one that's repeated. Did it hurt? They all hurt. The pain is something that is needed. At first, reminds you of a wound left open that needs to be treated. Second, you realize that everyone's pain is theirs. Yours wasn't worse or better, so there's no need to be conceited. Lastly, you finally see, despite the words possibly printed across your back, pain is what we're here for, but the art is what draws us back. Thank you. So, if you didn't infer, the statement that drives my life is love is what we're here for. So, if you're around me and you see me being shitty, like, sometimes that's what love is what we're here for. Because sometimes it gets shitty.
Got one more.
This is the last one. And this can't be read, it has to be performed. If I mess it up, I guess that's how it goes.
Cool.
This has never been performed before. This is fresh. And this is for these two people who are sitting right here. If you enjoy anything you've heard tonight, say thank you to them. They like. This poem is called The Flight of Two Bees. Love is what we're here for. This is a statement I wish to explore. A statement on the wall while growing up that I adored. A mantra that was instilled from soul to soul. This is the proclamation from the joining of my parents. Speaking of them calls for toast. For they are still peanut butter and jam. My family was made with full parts intact. 3 sisters and a brother to be exact. And it didn't take long for this love to grow. It was only 6 months after vows I started to show. But you know, this story is not about me. It's more about the flight of 2 bumblebees. About how 2 people didn't know what wasn't meant to be. You have to understand, they're not really close in age. Under a new brand, their joining caused some rage, not fazed by under-breath remarks. Their sparks caught flame. Love was to blame. The triple threat, her handsome catch, moved to their next scene. Let me set the stage. Not happy with location, a turn of the page is made. They traded 300 days of rain for shine, thinking a new desert life could be sublime. It's Saturday, so it's time to sit all day with too many things to do but no obligation. It's Saturday, but it's really a vacation. Lay by the pool, serve drinks, eat good food. Everybody moods shifting due to score. Ain't nobody have a desire for more. Back to topic. Love is what we're here for. They're not here for easy, but love, it isn't a chore. Love took work. And it will even pass today, because addiction isn't something that ever just goes away. It won't one day just be gone, but through love, it was something that has made my parents strong. With one in a hospital bed, they never just along for the ride. They took all bullshit together in stride, a love that grew opposed to divide. See, my parents, they love like a swarm. Like bees with a cause. Even with troubles that seriously cause pause, multiple sclerosis, diabetes type 2, gastroparesis, chronic gastritis, GERD, reflux, multi-level cervical and lumbar spine disc disease, osteoarthritis, lumbar fusions, a pacemaker for bradycardia, hypothyroid, chronic migraines, enough to fill up a silo. And bipolar, so there's a high-low. Close your eyes. Imagine 10,000 hours of your life spent in hospitals, waiting for your love just to feel a bit better, when she won't ever be as healthy as the day that you met her. Realizing that health and love can't always matter, because health can shatter like tempered glass in a car accident. And their car didn't have to travel far for the need of a bar to pry her out with a shattered back. And it was the months in over-medicated hospitals that brought the family addiction back. In full force, and of course I have remorse for thinking the only recourse to them being happy was them splitting apart. Love is stronger than happy. Love is stronger than I hate you. Love is stronger than your ability to understand the why or how or if or when. It was my parents that decided that love is what we're here for. I think that we should all believe them. Thank you.
Zachary Jubie! This guy right here! All right, I gotta stand up because I'm not as tall as that guy.